Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. A Central Valley man is dead, and health officials say vaping may be to blame. Details on other vaping-related illnesses and what Governor Gavin Newsom is calling for.
Parking problems on the campus of CSUB, and with new towing policies placed in nearby places, students are paying attention. Before we head to class this morning, we'll tell you what college police officials recommend.
Pushing back the bell. We'll tell you about the bill that would mandate a later start for some California schools, and we'll give you a chance to weigh in on this Tuesday, September 17th, 2019. Good morning. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher, and absolutely loving this taste of fall.
Yeah, it's been a great forecast over the past couple days, and it's just going to continue right in time for the first day of the fair, which is tomorrow, Kev.
Yeah, and yesterday everything happened as we talked about, Alex, in the morning. We saw the clouds move in, and right around 8 o'clock the winds picked up, and we did see a gust of about 25 miles per hour. It was brief, which was a good thing. That means less dust blowing around the area, but the winds did pick up right around 8 o'clock. And now the skies are starting to clear. And as we go throughout the day, we will be looking at sunny skies by this afternoon. 62 degrees in Bakersfield. We have a north-northwest wind at 7 miles per hour. As we take a look at the day, mostly sunny at 7 a.m., 61 degrees. By noon, sunny and 73. And by 3 o'clock, we'll be right near 80. As we take a look at the mountains, 48 degrees. Grab a jacket if you're going to be heading out this morning. The winds have calmed for you as well, just down to the west at 8. The breeze will continue throughout the afternoon, though. 40s to start, and then you can see here we'll be right near 70 by 3 o'clock, and that northwest wind at 12. The cooling will continue. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's get a check of the morning commute. We'll send that over to Alex.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Taking you outside for the first time this morning to the 99 near White Lane, and it's looking pretty clear on that side of town. Everything else around the county also looking pretty good to start off your Tuesday morning. We'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
New this morning, a Tulare County man is dead, and health officials believe vaping is to blame. The man died over the weekend. Health officials could not reveal what type of substance he was vaping. The Tulare County Health Department says it has seen 3 cases of vaping-related pulmonary illness over the past month. Meantime, Governor Gavin Newsom wants the state to tackle health concerns connected to vaping. Yesterday, he signed an executive order directing the state to start a public awareness campaign about vaping dangers. It will cost $20 million. Newsom's also calling on lawmakers to send him a bill banning flavored e-cigarettes next year. A similar effort already failed earlier this year, but lawmakers say they'll try again.
Let's just dispense with any niceties. You don't have bubblegum flavored, mango flavored tobacco products unless you're trying to target an audience that you are losing. That's young people.
Beyond the public awareness campaign, Newsom wants the state's public health department to look into stepping up warning signs at retailers that sell vaping products. He also wants the state tax agency to see if it can increase the taxes on e-cigarettes.
America's vaping epidemic has caught the attention of President Trump and forced the activation of the CDC's Emergency Operations Center after hundreds of suspected vaping illnesses and at least 6 confirmed deaths. This morning on Today, we're exploring how exactly these devices work and how they're delivering nicotine and other chemicals into the body. We're answering these urgent questions as health officials around the world try to pinpoint what's causing this outbreak. Dr. Bonnie Halpern-Felsher, an adolescent psychologist at Stanford University, researches teen vaping and says the term vaping is misleading.
You say vaping is actually a misnomer, and it's not really vapor.
It is not really vapor. What it really is an aerosol.
What is the difference between aerosol and vapor?
So the big difference is when people think it's just harmless water vapor, it isn't. There are a number of other chemicals that are in there, hundreds of chemicals that you're breathing in.
To see Dr. Bonnie's full interview, tune in today. You can watch the Today Show right here on KGT following 17 News at Sunrise.
On to other news of the morning. We're hearing for the first time from Wendy Howard, the Tehachapi mother claiming self-defense after shooting her ex-husband. Police say Wendy Howard shot and killed her ex-husband, Kelly Pitts, on June 5th. Court documents reveal it happened after Howard reported Pitts to police for allegedly molesting their 16-year-old daughter. During the argument, Howard says that Pitts drove his quad toward her and ran over her foot. She claims she felt threatened and shot him. Last week, a judge reduced Howard's bail from $1 million to $500,000. The next day, her family paid her bail, allowing her to go home and be with her kids. She says that she's still getting used to being a part of their lives again.
It took me a couple days just to realize that I was in a different place now, and loving my kids and looking at them in the eyes and just knowing how much they loved me and how much they missed me.
Howard's court case has been postponed, giving her more time at home. Still, Howard says she knows there's still a chance she could spend the rest of her life behind bars.
It's a hard reality, but I'm trying to enjoy every minute, and as I go by, and it gets easier to just focus on that. Now I have a little bit of time to be able to just do that.
Her family's now trying to raise money for a new attorney via GoFundMe. Howard is due back in court on October 7th.
New information about a man accused of killing his sister at their Tehachapi home. Gina Armstrong last week at Kern Medical after allegedly being stabbed up to 9 times by her brother, Joey Armstrong. Court documents reveal a witness told police Armstrong was arguing with his sister for using the AC with windows open, running up their electricity bill. During that argument, Gina told Armstrong their late mother would be ashamed of him. The witness said Armstrong left the room, and shortly after, they heard screaming, then found Gina bleeding in the garage. Documents say Armstrong changed shirts and hid the knife. Investigators found both, and Armstrong is due back in court tomorrow.
Forget traffic headaches, more like traffic migraines. Just weeks into the semester at CSUB, parking lots are at capacity, and the problem's costing students and staff time and money. 17's Karen Waugh spoke with people on campus about the issue and has the story.
With full parking lots, some students have opted to park for free at the Marketplace Shopping Center across the street from the university. But now they may want to reconsider.
This is a typical day in a Cal State Bakersfield parking lot. Packed.
The university is only getting bigger.
Each semester, it's $93 for a parking permit, but that price doesn't guarantee a spot. For the early birds,
so I have about that hour and a half just to make sure I get good parking.
Those a little later have to park further back.
You still have to walk a long ways, and for $93, that's just ridiculous.
And those with no luck often park at the Marketplace across the street.
For years, the students have been able to park over there, but the Marketplace, the management system, has decided that it's apparently becoming overwhelming and has elected to not allow it any further.
CSUB Police Chief Marty Williamson confirmed business owners have a right to tow any vehicle on their lot. So he's urging drivers to find other means of transportation, like Golden Empire transit buses that offer reduced fare for students.
Why are you gonna pay for that when you have your own transportation?
So many drivers are urging the school to expand parking.
Parking lot doesn't go in overnight. They're not cheap.
Williamson said CSUB is working on a new master plan with parking solutions, but that will take time.
We purposely tried to keep the costs low. I know it's still a burden on some students. We get that. We recognized it. But again, we have to be able to pay for our own parking for maintenance and for any future construction.
Donahue Schreiber, the company that manages the Marketplace, has not responded to our request for comment. I'm Karen Waugh, 17 News.
New drivers, heads up, the CHP is offering its Start Smart class again to better prepare you to be behind the wheel. It's happening tonight at the Bakersfield CHP office. Current and prospective teenage drivers are now welcome along with their parents and guardians. The free 2-hour class will prepare parents and teens on how to handle the stress of being a new driver. It discusses safe driving habits, consequences of poor choices behind the wheel, and tips on how to avoid an accident. If you'd like to sign up, call 396-6600. Welcome back to your 17 Health Watch. Taking aspirin can be risky for most healthy people, but a new study says some people can actually benefit. Daily aspirin can be a lifesaver for patients who have had a heart attack, stroke, or open heart surgery. But for many others, the blood thinning effect could cause major bleeding. A new study published in the medical journal Analysis of Internal Medicine came to a different conclusion. It found aspirin reduces the risk of heart issues for at-risk patients and for some with no known risk of cardiovascular disease. It also says the benefit of aspirin outweighs the harms associated with the bleeding risk. The authors of the study aren't arguing to change U.S. guidelines on aspirin, which were just updated this year.
It's a potentially life-threatening reaction affecting an estimated 1 in 50 children. Now a huge step in helping those allergic to peanuts. Mandy Gaither has more.
This is a breakthrough option for patients.
For the first time, a peanut allergy treatment has been given initial approval by the Food and Drug Administration. The drug Palforzia is designed to lessen the severity of allergic reactions in people ages 4 to 17 who are allergic to peanuts.
Peanut allergy is the scariest food allergy because you can die from it.
Dr. Jill Poole, a board-certified allergist at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, says this drug could help those 17 and under who are accidentally exposed to a small amount of peanuts.
The maximum number of peanuts was small, like 1 to 2 peanuts. So this isn't being able to just go ahead and have peanut butter sandwiches or a bag of peanuts. It still has to be well communicated that this isn't curing them of their peanut allergy.
While Poole says this approval is exciting for patients, she says it'll involve a lot of preparation by allergists, something she's already working on. An advisory committee voted in favor for the treatment, but the FDA will make its final approval by January. The agency frequently follows the lead of the advisory committee. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If approved, this will become the first FDA-approved treatment for peanut allergies.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Check your kitchen cupboards. General Mills is pulling pounds of its all-purpose flour off the shelves because of E. coli concerns. This is the package the company says consumers need to check. General Mills has announced it was voluntarily recalling 5-pound bags of its gold medal unbleached all-purpose flour. The recall only focuses on the flour with a use-by date of September 6, 2020. The company says the flour could potentially contain E. coli. The bacteria was discovered during sampling of the product. So far, there's no report of any illness connected to the recall. If you have any flour, General Mills says you should throw it out. After a period of relatively low gas prices, you'll soon be paying more at the pump. That's because of the attacks at an oil facility in Saudi Arabia this weekend. Oil prices rose above $60 a barrel following the attacks. Americans are not expected to be too heavily impacted since the U.S. has become less dependent on Saudi oil. Head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, Patrick Dehan, estimates that a hike from 10 to 25 cents a gallon during the next few weeks will be happening. Right now, AAA says the national average for a regular gallon of gas is $2.56. In California, it's $3.64. And in Kern County, the average is $3.70. According to GasBuddy.com, the lowest price on gas in the Bakersfield area is $3.17. You can find it at the Fast Trip at the corner of Mount Vernon and University Avenues in Northeast Bakersfield. To look up gas prices in your neighborhood, head to KGET.com, then click on the traffic section. Talks carry on, but still no deal in the UAW strike against General Motors. Lead negotiators for General Motors and the United Auto Workers Union met at least twice yesterday as the two sides try to end a work stoppage. Nearly 50,000 union workers are taking part in the first nationwide strike at GM in more than a decade. We're now headed into day 2 of the strike, which is affecting more than 30 GM plants across the country. NBC's Dan Sheneman reports.
Mighty, mighty union! More than 48,000 members of the United Auto Workers Union are off the job and on the picket line.
We just asking for decent wages, job security.
31 GM plants across the country feeling the impact. Among the issues, the idling of 4 U.S. plants.
General Motors is shutting down plants throughout this country and building cars in Mexico and China and doing all kind of investing all over the world. Is that American?
General Motors says it offered a 4-year agreement with more money for workers, billions of dollars in new investments, plans to create 5,400 jobs, and solutions for plants in Michigan and Ohio. The company prepared for a work stoppage with enough vehicles to sell for at least 2 months. Just last year, General Motors earned nearly $12 billion in profits. Over a decade ago, it filed for bankruptcy.
Our membership took concessions and helped this company when they went through their bankruptcy. And since that time, the company has posted record profits.
But while on strike, union members will be forced to get by with strike pay, a fraction of their usual salaries.
It'll last as long as it lasts.
But no one knows how long that will be. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.